No, when everything's clear, please. Yeah, manifest towards Dallas. Put all parachutes on the ground. Okay, Delta Whiskey? Delta Whiskey, got
Down here at our local flying club today, you can hear the jets in the background, and we're flying a few of our review models that we've got coming up in the magazine over the next few months. I've got the E-flite Bonanza here, and we'll be flying the CML large foamy FMS Spitfire and possibly one or two others as well. So let's get flying. First off, we're just going to have a look at this. This is E-flite's new Beechcraft Bonanza, 49-inch span, electric powered of course. It uses a Power 15 motor with a 3S3200 LiPo battery. Quite a lot of servos because you've got all the normal control functions and flaps as well, and it's also got the electric retracts from E-flite, which work really well. Just got three mini servos here. They're 2 kilogram torque servos. Just at the front, a 40 amp speed controller. I'm running everything off the BEC without a problem. 13x7 prop there, and the LiPo battery itself, which sits just here. Just had to put a little bit of lead in the nose, about 30 grams to balance it properly. The suggested C of G is 4 inches back from the leading edge at the root, and you don't want to go any further back than 4 inches. So that's a very important thing to be aware of if you're building this particular model. But more on that in the review. Tell us about this, Pete, because you wrote about building this in the column, didn't you?
This is a top flight kit, the 63-inch Gold series, so it's all built up. There's no foam involved. I didn't put flaps on it because I wanted the aeroplane to be as light as possible, and on days like today where there's no wind, it does take a fair old run when it lands, but it's still a bit lighter. Recently I've done the good and gracious thing, because if you look around the side here, I've got 2 switches. So for the first time in my life I've put a second battery set for the retracts, because we nearly had a problem back in the summer where the battery failed. I'll be featuring that in one of the columns very soon. It does actually make you feel a lot more comfortable when you're flying it. But this aeroplane, it flies like it's on rails. Top Flight got everything right when they did this. It looks right, it's proportionally a very good looking Spitfire. It's not a complicated build because it's a kit. Providing you keep your weight down, there's no complicated detail in the cockpit. I've got no doors on the undercarriage, and there's no flaps, as I said. It's still got a lump of lead up the front. It's OS 91 4-stroke, which makes it fly like a Spitfire. You could fly it on something smaller, but it's got the oomph to pull a big loop without having to dive first. In windy conditions, it gets chucked about. Still, not a problem at all. It doesn't seem to want a tip stall, but it's a good model.
This is the FMS Spitfire. It's a 55-inch span, 1.4 metre foam model, which we're going to be reviewing in early 2011. It's made from EPO foam. It's pre-painted, factory finished, and the brushless outrunner is obviously included with the model. The model has electric retracts, which are increasingly becoming the norm for smaller retract systems anyway, and these are a large improvement on the mechanical retracts that weren't incredibly reliable. But in the meantime, have a look at it flying and see what you think for yourself. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time, but in the meantime you can read the full reviews of the 2 models, E-flite's Beechcraft Bonanza and FMS's foamy Spitfire, in RCM&E magazine, early 2011 issues. So keep up with everything at www.modelflying.co.uk.